This is to show the differences between the early V2 hot end wiring and the most recent, or the most of the V2's wiring. The hot end wiring is going to consist of the fan, the heater cartridge, and the thermistor. On the V2, early V2s and the V1s, the hot end wiring ran from the hot end up into the tower, through the tower, down the base, or out the base, connecting to the main board. And on most of the V2s, the wiring goes from the hot end up into the tower, and there's a wire little bundle, connection bundle for the heater cartridge. You got this one is for the fan, and that's going to be for the thermistor. So for replacement, it's easier because you can only have to replace from here up to here, and in many cases you can actually pull, before you disconnect, you can pull those out. I'll pause it in here and demonstrate that a little bit. I put them back together. Let me see if I can pull them out. If you disconnect that, often you can pull out the wires, and it's easier without filament sticking out. But you can pull out individual wires and disconnect them that way, instead of having to take off either the front cover, which requires removing the base, 3 screws here, 3 up in the bottom, or the back cover, which is the same thing, 3 screws, the base 3 screws, and then 3 screws at the top. You can see the difference. That's pretty much explains it right there, but you can see the difference in wiring, length. Much different. It goes the same for the thermistors and the fans. Much longer. The longer wire or longer set can be used for either model. Just for the V2, it just requires, well, for both of them, it requires running the wire all the way from the hot end and back down there. You don't utilize the connections here if you end up using the long one, which is fine, just more work. And the thermistor and the heater are the same, or for the older V2s are the same, same length, and the fan. But the difference between the fan of the V1 and the V2 is the V2 uses a slightly smaller, or just one smaller, different housing. I think that's to avoid any confusion of plugging in the fan to the thermistor header on the board. I'm not sure if there was a problem or if they just were trying to prevent problems. But that should explain it. Again, earlier, or the newer V2s have the wire connection bundle, and V1s and some V2s do not have that bundle.